rented the cabin because I needed silence. No city noise, no people, no distractions. Just me, a notebook, and 3 days alone in the woods. The listing said it was fully secluded, about 20 miles from the nearest town. That's exactly what I wanted. When I arrived, the sun was just starting to set, casting long shadows between the trees. The cabin itself looked normal. Old wooden walls, a small porch, and a rusty lantern hanging by the door. Nothing unusual, at least. Not at first. Inside, everything seemed clean but off. The air smelled slightly damp, like something had been closed up for too long. I shrugged it off, unpacked my bag, and started a fire in the small fireplace. By 9 p.m., the forest outside had gone completely silent. No insects, no wind, nothing. That should have been my first warning. Around midnight, I heard the first sound. Footsteps, slow, deliberate, circling the cabin. At first, I thought it was an animal, maybe a deer or something brushing against the walls. But then I heard it clearly. Crunching gravel. Heavy. Human. I froze. The footsteps stopped right outside the door. Then came a knock, 3 slow taps. I didn't move. My heart was pounding so loudly, I thought whoever was outside could hear it. "Hello!" A voice called. It sounded wrong, not threatening, not aggressive. Just empty, like someone trying to sound human. I stayed silent. The voice came again. "I know you're in there." That's when I realized something. There was no car outside besides mine. No lights. No sign of anyone for miles. So how did they get here? The handle of the door slowly turned, locked it. The person, or whatever it was, didn't force it open. Instead, it started walking again. Around the cabin, slowly. Over and over, for hours. I didn't sleep that night. At sunrise, the sounds stopped. I rushed outside, expecting to see footprints. There were none. Not a single mark in the dirt, just untouched ground, as if no one had ever been there. I left immediately, but here's the part I can't explain. Later, when I checked the listing again, it was gone, completely removed. And the location? Didn't exist on the map anymore. My friend Daniel and I planned a weekend getaway. Just 2 guys escaping the stress of work, heading to a remote cabin deep in the forest. No Wi-Fi, no signal, just hiking, fishing, and relaxing. The first day was perfect. The second night wasn't. We were sitting by the fire, talking about random stuff, when Daniel suddenly went quiet. He was staring into the woods. "What?" I asked. He didn't answer. He just pointed. At first, I didn't see anything. Then, I noticed it, a faint glow between the trees. Like a light, but there wasn't supposed to be anything out there. No houses, no roads, nothing. "Maybe another cabin?" I said. Daniel shook his head. That wasn't there earlier. Curiosity got the better of us. We grabbed flashlights and started walking toward it. The deeper we went, the colder it got, and the quieter, until we reached it. It wasn't a cabin, it was a window, just a single window frame, standing in the middle of the forest. No walls, no structure, just a glowing window. We both stopped. "Okay, that's not normal," Daniel whispered. Inside the window, we could see a room, a normal room, a bed, a lamp, a chair, and someone sitting in it, facing away from us, perfectly still. "Is that a person?" I asked. Daniel stepped closer. "Hey," he called out. The figure didn't move. Then slowly, it stood up and turned around. It was Daniel. Not just similar, Exactly him, same clothes, same face, same everything. Standing inside that window, staring directly at us. I looked at Daniel beside me. He looked pale. Frozen, the thing in the window smiled, a wide, unnatural smile. Then it raised its hand and waved. Daniel grabbed my arm. Run. We didn't look back. We sprinted all the way to the cabin, slammed the door, and locked it. Neither of us spoke. Hours passed, then came a knock, 3 slow taps. We both looked at each other. "No way," I whispered. The knock came again, then a voice. "Hey, it's me. Open up." It was Daniel's voice, exactly. But Daniel was sitting right next to me, shaking. We didn't open the door. The knocking continued for almost an hour. Then it stopped. The next morning, we left. We never talked about it again. But here's the part that still haunts me. A week later, Daniel called me. His voice was quiet, unsteady. He said he'd been seeing it again. The window, even in places where it shouldn't exist. And every time, the thing inside gets closer. The cabin had a guest book. That's what caught my attention first. I found it on a small table near the fireplace. A thick, worn-out notebook filled with entries from previous visitors. At first, it seemed normal. People writing about their stay. How peaceful it is. Beautiful scenery. Perfect getaway. Then the tone started to change. The entries got strange. I heard someone outside last night. There are footsteps on the roof. The door keeps unlocking itself. I felt a chill run down my spine. But I told myself it was just people trying to be funny, trying to scare future guests. Then I reached the last few pages. The handwriting changed, messier, more frantic. I'm not alone. I saw someone in the mirror. They look like me. I flipped the page. The next entry was worse. They don't leave when I close my eyes. They stand in the corner, watching. My hands were shaking now. I looked at the date. It was from 3 days ago. 3 days. That meant whoever wrote this might still be here, or had just left. I laughed nervously. Okay, not funny. That night, I tried to ignore it. I locked the doors, turned off the lights, and went to bed. At around 2 a.m., I woke up. Something felt wrong. The room was colder, and there was a smell like damp wood and something rotten. Then I heard it breathing. Not mine. Slow, deep. From the corner of the room. I didn't move. I didn't even breathe. The sounds got closer, closer, until I could feel it, right beside me. Then it stopped. I slowly turned my head. Nothing was there. The room was empty. I jumped out of bed, turned on the light. Still nothing. I checked the entire cabin. No one. I told myself it was just my imagination, just the stories getting to me. But when I went back to the bedroom, the guest book was on the bed, open to a new page, with fresh writing. I'm not alone anymore. My stomach dropped. I hadn't written that. I grabbed my bag immediately. I didn't care about anything else. I just wanted out. As I reached the door, AP noticed something. The mirror by the hallway. I froze. My reflection wasn't moving. I slowly raised my hand. It didn't. It just stood there, smiling that same wide, unnatural smile. I ran. I didn't stop until I reached my car and drove as far as I could. I never went back. But sometimes, when I look in the mirror, I feel like I'm not the one in control, like something else is watching me from the inside, waiting.